This is the A46 Luxury Tender by Cranchi. These guys have been building boats over in Italy for 150 years. So it's called the Luxury Tender. Does that mean it's only a day boat? I don't know. Join me and let's find out. If you're interested in the pricing, I've left that in the description below. If you want to see a detailed test drive, we've just done that. That's also a separate video to this, which I will link at the end of this video. Dan Jones is my name. Welcome to Dan's Boat Life. Walkthrough starting right now. Come on forward. Let's go check out the bow. Now, I want to let you know that we've got the Jenny on and we have the Seakeeper gyro operational. So I'm going to leave that on for the whole walkthrough for you guys, because I suspect you're going to do exactly what we're doing today. Come here and enjoy this with large groups of friends. Boats like this, I'm really excited about the direction that day boating is going right now, because we're replacing some of those older fashioned flybridge sports style boats that we have all seen before with really, really sexy med day boats that can accommodate much, much larger groups when compared to other designs. And a lot of people who are using these boats really are just using it for the day function. So let's get cracking. Up here on the bow, nice teak finish, access into your anchor locker there. We've got a Lofrans winch, stainless steel anchor in its own bow roller off the bow, and then you've got your two drop down cleats with some really, really large rope protectors just here. They have put a stainless steel protector up the front as well for any rope damage or chain damage, so that's protecting your bow. I would probably, when I'm hoisting the anchor, I would probably have the boat in 1 knot reverse motion just to make sure the anchor comes up nice and cleanly and doesn't swing around too much. Now this area here, it's called the tender, so you're going to get people on and off the bow, so that makes sense. That gives you access nice and clean, and you even have a hot and cold shower just to hose people down if they've come in off the beach or something like that. So that's pretty handy. The details on this boat, I've got to say, are really, really nice. Like, they've gone to every little inch of this boat, and you'll see this as we make our way through, and somebody has thought about it. Typical Italians, because they seem to be all craftsmen over there. They really, really care about the details. There is a super little bougie lunch table, which slots in there. We've got a couple of speakers just here, quite high quality by the looks of it, and a window just here, which goes down into the main cabin. But above that, we've got this sun lounge, which has got lots going on. So it has some adjustable backrests, which I've operated already, so they will lie flat. But on my right hand, I've got the Fusion stereo control, 2 decent drink holders which have drains in them, so they're not going to fill up with water if you cop a wave or some rain. And we even have a phone charger, a contactless phone charger just there, 2 more drink holders, and some grab handles, which is sensible, because I would actually at times, just for short runs, say from Mossman over to Double Bay or something, I would actually run with people in the bow, and this just helps them feel a little bit more safe and secure. It's that sort of boat, and you'll see why I would in a second, because they've designed it with that in mind, I believe. Now, nice glass detail with some opening ports which go down into the main cabin here, and we're running with teak decks. Before we get there, just pay attention to this windscreen, Steve. Stainless steel, so they're not cheaping out on the wipers, so they're not going to use the mild steel ones which rust on you. That really annoys me on a lot of boats that cost a lot of money. This has been well done. One other little trick, I've seen this on plenty of these med day boats, you will have removable covers which go into these fixed roofs here. If you don't leave the bolt rope in place at some speeds, there'll typically be a little window where the bolt rope track will whistle. So if you just leave the bolt rope in the bolt rope track, it won't do that. So saves the whistling noise. Might as well talk about this first. Try and capture all this roof, Steve. This is one of the reasons why I'm so excited about this luxury tender day boat evolution that we're experiencing right now. Lots of brands are doing this, but Cranchi have done something quite unique here, because the amount of space that we have is epic, and I'm going to get into these details in a second, but these roofs, which we can now enjoy, are absolutely wonderful. It's full beam, it's complete protection from the rain and the sun, and if you're in a mild climate zone like in Sydney or in Mallorca or in Miami or those sorts of places where I can see you all watching in the analytics, you're going to enjoy these sorts of views. But having protection from the rain and the sun is crucial because it just makes your days more operational. It makes them more comfortable, and wait till you see how this roof works. It's really, really cool. But let's focus on the windscreen first because there's a lot going on. First thing, the helm is offset to starboard. So that gives you a lot of usable space out here to port for people to go forward. With this passageway here is actually same size on starboard, but they've offset the whole cabin a little bit. So you've got lots of space to move forward and aft. You just have the one step and then the rest of the decks are flat. And then when you get to the helm itself, you go up one step. So remember how I was saying I would run with people in the bow holding onto that grab handle? This is why, because you step up. So even little leg Dan can still see straight over, great visibility, and the captain's chair is also elevated by a couple of inches. So this is an electrically operated captain's chair. It'll go forward, aft, up and down, I believe. And so that just gives you the option. So when you are sitting down, if you want to adjust yourself, can do, but your natural position because of the raised seat base means you're going to look straight over those people up there in the bow. So let's get this helm into shot, Steve. Just look at some of these details. That is, simple piece of design, typical Italians. That's so funky. I think it's great. We've got all of our switches just here. We've got the Fusion display, space for a little bit more if you need it. And then we've got two large Garmin multifunctional displays up here. You can have whatever you like on these. And then we've got a Garmin buy data just here. This is the stabilizer, the Seakeeper stabilizer operation just here. We've got a bit of a ledge. You may or may not be able to see with the camera, which is a good place to put things like sunnies and wallets. And I want to point out there is a drain. So if it was raining and you left electronics here, it's not going to fill up with water and drown them. So it is actually a good place to store those types of things. We've got a compass just here, a side power variable speed bow thruster. Super handy for a high-sided boat, which this is. These med sexy day boats often have higher sides. That means a little bit more windage. So even though we do have the joystick, you can make your life super easy and keep this to a one-man or one-woman operation. So on the joystick, it is an IPS. We got the IPS Volvo 650, so there are 480 horsepower, and this boat works really, really well. Side slipping, spinning it around. It's a one-person operation. You can drive it like this, and you can turn around like that. And the operation of the joystick doesn't require any confusing mental calculation as it would with a throttle in the traditional manner. So obviously we have our electronic throttles just there. That is set back a little bit from the wheel, so it's comfortable at sitting or standing position. And then we've got our interceptors, our Humphrey interceptors just here. You've got the auto mode, or you can trim them manually. Couple of plugs for VHF and charging below the dash there. The steering wheel is adjustable. Just come in close and have a look at this, Steve, because not only is it a leather wrapped steering wheel that adjusts, you've got your whole stereo control just there and the Cranchi logo in the middle, which stays level. Details. These guys are going the extra mile, so that's cool. We have a teak footstep just here. One thing I did note, you have a really good footstep just here, but it's cut off in the middle section of the wheel. Didn't really bother me because I was using this one, but if you were going to point out and be niggly, I suppose that's something that's worth pointing out. Now, little storage areas under here, I reckon that's for Italians and their loafers, because that would work perfectly. Here and here, good little storage spot for that. Maybe you could put some safety gear in there as well, but I think the safety gear would go well just underneath the navigator's seat on the starboard side. And then on the port side, so if you just go back a little bit, Steve, you'll see the primary switch operation for the batteries, all electrically done, super easy. Service, starboard, port, generator, all there. and then you've got some more storage for essentials, which is handy. Two very large speakers. I think they're Fusion midship mounted, but there's plenty more. We're going to get to that. And some strip lighting above our heads. So this boat is really going to pop of an evening with what I'm seeing here. The other thing, this color, the matte black, it doesn't introduce too much in the way of glare in your face. Obviously, you're going to be using a boat like this on sunny days, so that's worth paying attention to. So moving back, try and get all of this area. We're now in the heart of the boat. We've got these vertical supports for the roof just here, but this wonderful timber entertainment station. And I've never seen one as detailed as this. I just want to point out that bougie tap fitting. That is super cool. Never seen one of them before. This is all stainless up here for heat load. You got your Barbie, you got your 2-burner cooktop there. This is actually a sink with a cutting board on top. And even the drawers are stainless steel. So that's cool, that's gonna last a long time. And then in the mid sections, we've got the Verifrigo ice maker. And then we have quite a large fridge just there on the port side. So that's awesome from an entertainment perspective, because you will have 15 people on a boat like this. And also pay attention to the amount of space we've got. I can be here and people can be walking around behind me. I can also be hanging out on the side here and somebody can walk past me as well. So you're not, you know how a lot of boats when people will sit down you know, in the U-shaped lounge, and once everyone's seated, they're stuck. So if you're in the end and you need to go to the toilet, you've got to get everyone else to stand up and make your way through. Not so much the case on this boat, because look at the access we have to move around this area just here. So if I was sitting here and realised I was busting to go to the loo, it's really not difficult to do that, create some space and go and sort myself out. So that's kind of handy. But in terms of getting everybody seated for lunch, big, thick, quality table here, this is 8+ people. Look at how much space we have here. Check out the table supports. They're like that thick, so, you know, big stainless steel table supports. So super nice. And then underneath these seats, there's multiple things I need to show you here. So I'll try and show you with this one here, Steve. They're all on gas struts and you've got storage underneath every single one of them. So boom, 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 will all hinge forward and you have that storage area. But you can also do that. So you can have a whole row of people facing forward, underway, no problems, which is kind of nice when you're going fast. And then when you get to your destination and you want to use the world's biggest sun lounge, if you need to make it any bigger, you just do that. So you can put, I don't know, 8 people on this if you needed to. It's just epic. It really is. So that's very, very impressive. So I'm going to actually make my way across to the port side. So Steve, you go through there and I'll go across this side. Even the material details on either side, these little sort of backrests, I don't even know what you call these, have got a little bit of storage just in there. So cool. Midships cleats just here, waste out, fuel in. But this is what I wanted to come to. So you actually have 2 panels, one on port, one on starboard. Each one operates the balconies. So we have a port balcony and we have a starboard balcony. I also really like that the Italians are not bothering with all those stupid railings that just create work. I just want to fold them down, look cool, use them, and then fold it up when I'm done with it. I don't want to muck around with 15 stainless steel poles and like feed some rope through it and all that jazz. The idea is that you want to jump in and go for a swim and enjoy it. You know, if you fall in, that's your own fault. So I think that's great. It looks cool, and to me, less fussing around. So balcony, garage hatch open, which I'm going to operate in a sec because you have the world's greatest garage in this one. And then we have the swim platform, which can be operated from this side but on the starboard side, we actually can deploy the sunshade. So this is the fixed shade right now, and then we have extendable shade up here. But if you wanted some sun, we've got it. So I think I'm on the wrong side of the boat to operate that. So I'll have to get back to that switch, because this is super epic. Oh, it's up there. Oh, so thank you, Steve. Too many buttons. All right, let's do it right now. Roof opening. Check this out, guys. This is the future of bougie boat sunroofs. So instead of bothering with the old material ones, which are inevitably going to fail on you, this is a really cool setup. To be fair, I've seen roofs like this in a lot of entertainment venues. And just look at the light that gets bathed now in this area. So everywhere from here to here can now enjoy some extra light. Pretty cool. So, as I was saying, on this side, the details, they've thought about it. This pillar here is not blocking the view because they put a window. It looks quite sexy from the outside. Under here, just looks like part of the pillar, doesn't it? It's actually a subwoofer. So that's cool. I thought that was very neat. We've got access to the motors through a hatch here and over there. We'll do that at the end of the video, so just keep watching for that. And then you get out onto these platforms. This is epic. The design of these platforms, I've been on a few boats that drop down platforms, and many of them, when they drop down, they're basically resting on the surface of the sea. So you get a little bit of slap, slap, slap underneath, and it would be, you know, borderline just driving at 2 or 3 knots with them down, because you might be getting, you know, too much drag. Whereas this design, it's a solid foot or more off the water. I would have no qualms about entering a protected bay and just dropping them down and driving in at 5 knots, and it'd just be fun. So that's cool. And then the kid and doggy door, never seen one like that. The guy who had to put that together would have had his wits about him, so that's cool. So come around here, cleat. You can see we're just hanging off that one for the mooring. This is actually the drop down swim platform. There is the possibility to raise this as well. So this platform can come up to make this deck all level, or drop down, which we'll have to do later and cut to in the B-roll for you, because I don't have time to do that right now. But just have a look at all this. So this is the sun lounge, and Steve, you go somewhere without falling in the water, and I'm going to operate it because it is super cool. In terms of the storage, it's amazing. So garage hatch open. So you try and get that in shot, Steve, without falling in the drink. Look how quick that is. I've opened many garage doors on boats that take 10 times longer to open up, and it's actually annoying. So that's great. This is super neat fender storage, and whilst this is Silvertex material, they've lined the top sides in plastic for longevity. They've put stainless steel in any of the high traffic points, and the construction behind here looks like some sort of plasticky type material. It doesn't look like it's timber, so it's not going to rot. Well, I'm guessing it just doesn't look like timber. It looks like plastic to me. Stainless frame. Look at this. C-Bob storage, Yeti, Esky, more space for fenders. So you've got options there, and I can see below this we have a removable hatch, which will clearly get us into the engine bay. So that's very, very neat. So whilst I'm there, I'm just going to close it, and then I'm actually going to operate one of these wings for you. So close, because that's the other thing that impressed me about this boat. These wings are not too slow. So I'm just going to do the port one. So you can be wings up, ready to rock and roll in seconds on this boat, combining the roof open and close, no mucking about with that, closing the garage, no mucking about, and getting these wings up. Listen to the lock. Okay, done. Like, how easy is that? That's what it should be about. Simple, sexy, but straight to the point. I think they're onto something with this boat. So I think I've covered everything up here. Let's go downstairs and see if this is an overnight boat. Okay, so here's where the offset helm really comes into its own, because you have so much workable, usable space around here, and people could be moving from down below from the helm or the saloon entertainment area, and you're not going to trip over one another. But you go through this sliding companionway door, stainless steel, we got leather wrapped around here, and you go down 4 deep stairs, and control panel as you come down immediately. So batteries where we saw them before, control panel just here. But all of this is actually a galley. So I'll get to that in a second, it's super cool. But just come down and soak this up. So, don't see any accommodation yet, do we? It's quite a lovely little saloon area. Well, I'm gonna have to cut some B-roll for this. This is actually a double bed. This whole area here converts into a big, beautiful double bed, and all the way around us we've got storage. But firstly, look at this seat. How nice is that? Apparently the owners had this done custom in leather, so that's the sort of thing that Cranchi will do for you if you choose. So that's quite nice. But Steve, why don't you go over there and then just look back here, because we saw the midi bar area upstairs, but we have full on galley facilities just here. So stand up fridge and freezer just there. We've got facility for wine glasses and regular glasses there, all your crystal just here. You got your plate storage, your microwave, a little bit more storage underneath there. So you can come down, get what you need, and head back up. Quite clever. Okay, making our way around, nice felt finishing on the walls just here, opening portholes, windows. We have these blinds that go around. They'll just knock out a little bit of light. They're not blackout blinds, and definitely give you some privacy. Then we have more storage behind here. So not bad just there. Same again on this side. Stereo control, mirror, a hanging locker just here with some drawers in it, and all wrapped in leather. Really, really well done. 2 drawers just down there. Below me, the floor opens here and here, and I saw water tanks underneath there. So that's going to be good for weight distribution. And then above us, we got speakers, strip lighting and down lights, and you can turn this whole area into a private cabin by just pulling this curtain here. And then when you have pulled it, you can actually pull out your own TV in here. Oh, it's huge. Okay, that's not going to go anywhere in some swell. And you've got your own flat screen TV just here to enjoy and watch in bed. How cool is that? So, before we get to the master, let's check out the head, because it's very well done. So just stick the camera in there and have a look, Steve. That looks like real marble to me. It's very beautiful. Proper stand-up shower. I'll get in there for some perspective. It's a proper shower. So you can absolutely overnight, you could spend a week on this boat with the facilities we have here, with a proper stand-up shower, a Tecma toilet, space here with storage underneath, and then I think that's a fixed mirror. You do have a little outlet, and the whole boat's air conditioned. So I'm looking at air conditioning vents and outlets all the way around the boat. So that's pretty cool. Okay, welcome to the master. This is cool. So you step down 1 step and then another small step and into this ginormous full beam master. Just have a look at this. So you've got a large window on port and starboard, and see how we have 2 quite decent sized singles at the moment. There is actually a secret to this. So if you check out the shape of this cushion, see that? That's actually designed to sit on there. This handle here pulls out, and then you create an absolutely massive bed in this whole cabin. So how cool is that? If required,
you've got it. On either side, you've got rounded leather finishing. So if you're, you know, rolling around, if you didn't have the Seakeeper on and you happen to roll around, you're not going to hurt yourself. And you've got some storage. And then you've got this finishing behind here, which kind of reminds me of the roof, which is quite cool. And then you've got some backlighting behind that, down lighting, strip lighting above us. And if you wanted to sit up in bed with some cushions, could do, but you're not going to sit up properly. You have to be on a little bit of an angle. And then you even have a drawer forward on the port side, which I saw some more plateware, which is good for picnic wear, that sort of stuff. And storage underneath here for all those cushions, which I just pointed out there. But all important on a sexy day boat like this, you're going to have sexy clothes. You got a full stand-up mirror, floor to ceiling mirror just there, so you can check yourself before you head out for the day. So isn't that nice? So your options to get down into the engine bay are multiple. We have this hatch here, and just have a look over that side as well, Steve. We have another hatch of the same size on the starboard side, and then underneath the storage area at the back of the boat, as I pointed out before, there's a really big overhead hatch which is over the motors, which can be removed. So just give me the camera, Steve, and I'll bring you guys down with me. Some really good build quality I'm noticing as I make my way around this boat. The finishing of the fiberglass, the stainless steel frame, and even look at see how the wiring loom has been protected by this plastic box that they've constructed, so nobody is going to be tripping on that. Just clever. I like seeing sensible little ideas like that. So in front of us is the starboard fuel tank, and then we have another one here on port. I can see the filters attached to the tank. That is the Seakeeper. It's on and activated right now. Power distribution just in front of that. Naturally, because we have the storage garage with the sea bobs above us, we don't have a lot of headroom. You're not going to get that. That's why they have that removable hatch. Just below us there are the batteries, good for weight distribution on the center line. And then we have the genset just aft of that. And then we can actually make our way across, and we see the hot water. We can see some raw water intakes, and then you can master vault and exit the starboard side if you wish. And also from a mechanic's point of view, if you are working on this boat, that allows a bit of airflow, so it makes it a bit more comfortable. There's some good insulation there too. Well done, Cranchi, well done. Guys, if this content is useful, if you get value from it, if you're using it to help you buy your boats, please give us a like. Consider subscribing to the channel. I've got a Patreon as well. I really do appreciate that. Also, for all of the messages, I'm getting a lot of messages. If I haven't got back to you yet, I will. Thank you. I'm just trying to get back to the people who are asking specific questions about buying boats. I'm getting a lot, so I just haven't had a chance to get back to all of you. I will as soon as I get time. But Cranchi A46 Luxury Tender, she's clearly a boat that you can overnight on. She's at the very upper limit of the quality spectrum from what I am observing. If you were comparing it to some other brands, I would say the Solaris Power 44 would be a direct competitor to this. Just because I've tested them, the Fjord 41 XL, much smaller. I wouldn't put it straight in line, but I'll leave a link for you to have a look at that one. And maybe the Capelli 43 Stradivari, completely different boat, so more of a suggestion as something else to throw in the mix there. But I'm a fan of this boat. I'm a fan of this brand from what I am learning. I've only spent a little bit of time on Cranchi's in Cannes at the boat show last year, and I didn't realize what great quality they are. After spending this amount of time, I now do. So that was fun. Click on the links if you want to have a look at some of those other boats.